guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Georgia and today I'm doing half a face of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturiser and half a face of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation. I think I've got pretty good matches for my skin in these shades. I've got the 20N and then the Fair 1N in the moisturiser, but I just wanted to give a comparison between the two because I do really like both of them. I think I prefer the moisturiser more, but I do really like both of them, so I wanted to give a comparison side by side to see what I think of them, how they wear, how they last, what they end up looking like on my skin and everything. So keep on watching if that's something that you want to see. I'm going to be going in with one foundation on either side of my face. I think on this side of my face I'm going to go in with the foundation just because I have a few more blemishes I want to cover on that side, and then this side I'm going to go in with the Tinted Moisturiser. So for the foundation I have the shade 20N. I did kind of roughly choose this shade. I wasn't too sure what shade to get, but I followed a few of like the instructions or the help guide on the Colourpop website and I decided to go for this one. I got this one because I think 10N was out of stock and I didn't want to get a warm toned foundation like the 15W, so I went for the 20N, but it actually has turned out to be a really nice match. I really like this one. This shade was also recommended in the shade range for the Tinted Moisturiser. This is in Fair 1N. And there are two different shades that you can get of the foundation which will then match into this sort of range. This is a bit broader of coverage range of the shades because it is a tinted moisturiser. It isn't as full coverage, you don't need an exact match. I'm going to take a bit with a beauty blender. This is just how I like to put it on. As you can see, it's a little bit watery, not too watery or anything. Please have to pick my beauty blender up. I do like this foundation and the tinted moisturiser. I did think it was going to be too dewy for my skin, seeing as I'm combination oily at the moment. My skin isn't as oily as it used to be, but I did think it'd be too wet look for my skin or too slip around my face, but it actually is really nice. It has a nice amount of coverage, it has a nice finish and everything to it too. It has a natural finish, and as you can see I think the colour match is pretty good for me, which is hard to get from foundations which you buy from websites. You don't get a chance to really test them in store. Even that is pretty tricky. This foundation does come in 42 shades, so sometimes when there is a big shade range it almost makes it harder to find your shade match, but also good because they have a lot of shades to choose from that you're more likely to find one that will actually match your skin rather than just settling for one in between. It is a medium buildable coverage. So you can go in and add more over the top as well, which I like. I think it just leaves a really pretty finish on the skin. Just makes it look really nice and dewy without being too over the top with it. So on the website this one says it's a skin perfecting medium buildable coverage, has hyaluronic acid and coconut water in it to help with the hydration, and it also has a Hydro Fresh complex which enhances the look of skin by instantly hydrating and diminishing the look of fine lines while delivering hydration over time. It does just give a really pretty finish to the skin. It looks nice and natural. It doesn't look too over the top with the dewiness, or it's not cakey or anything. It's a really nice everyday foundation and I really like this one. So glad I went for this one. I don't know, I haven't tried the no filter foundation, so I don't know. I think that's the matte sort of version. So I don't really know what that one would be like, but I actually really like this one for my skin. And it's not too tacky or anything afterwards. You probably could get away with not setting this with powder. I like having my foundation set with powder, it's just how I like the finished look, and I can go and put powder products on top without worrying about it sticking or anything anywhere. But otherwise it doesn't really feel like you'd probably need to set it that much. So this foundation is $16 from the Colourpop website, which I think is quite a good price for a foundation. Obviously it works out different into pounds, but otherwise you get a decent amount in there. It's obviously a normal amount you'd get in a foundation. A decent amount in there for quite a good price, and it is a really nice finish as well. I do use this one pretty often, so it's definitely worth the price and me buying it for that. Okay, and then this side I am going to go in with the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Tinted Moisturiser. This is in the shade Fair 1N. I think this is a lighter shade they do, and it's also a neutral shade. Comes out like that. Obviously that's 2 pumps there on my hand. Just going to go in my beauty blender again. With this one you can use your hands, you can use a brush. It works really nicely either way. I got this tinted moisturiser first out of the two and I really liked it. It made me decide to get the foundation as well. But my sister tried it and I think she had to just put it with her hands to start off with. and she didn't really like the finish of it, but she used it with a brush or a sponge and she actually really liked the finish of it with that. So I guess it's just different on how you use it to what sort of finish you get, which is good again because you get to tailor it to you and your skin type or what sort of foundation you want on that day, while keeping it really lightweight and just pretty. So this one says it's hydrating, oil-free, lightweight coverage. It's got hyaluronic acid and coconut water in it. Has a natural finish, and this one comes in 24 shades and is $14. It is really nice that even though it is just a tinted moisturiser, they do have 24 shades. That is more than some foundation ranges, and then the tinted moisturiser will then also go over quite a few of the foundation shades anyway, so it really does seem like it covers a lot of people's skin tones. And you do get a decent amount in this. I've used this, I literally use this almost every single day that I do wear makeup. I just love it so much. But I will definitely be repurchasing this, especially in the Colourpop Black Friday sale that's coming up. I'm going to try and get another one of these just because I love it so much. I do really think as well this tinted moisturiser that it just comes to life even more once you put setting powder and like a setting spray on top of it. It just really, everything melts into the skin and it looks so pretty. And to look at it when it is on your skin, you would think it's a foundation rather than tinted moisturiser because it really does have a good amount of coverage and like the finish to it is really pretty and everything. So you really would think it'd be a foundation, but it's just really nice and lightweight. It's really easy to work with and everything. It's definitely one of my favourite products from Colourpop. Seeing on that on my skin as I put it on like side by side, this is definitely lighter than the foundation, but I do like both finishes and I do think they both match me pretty well. It's not that obvious when I'm wearing them both separately, whereas I think this is a good colour match, but this one is just slightly light. I don't usually use concealer at the moment, especially when I have this sort of lightweight coverage. I tend to just leave it as that and powder everything. But I do have the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. This is in the shade Fair 02, and I think it is a bit too light for me. This is just the one that my sister picked out herself from the website, because the No Filter ranges of shades and names don't match up with the Pretty Fresh. You have to almost work out what you'd be in the other. But if you can see between the two, this one is a lot lighter, and I know I'm quite pale, but I think this is just slightly too cool or too white for me, so don't really go in with this just because I do think it is a bit light. But I'm going to put a little bit on today just to show you. I probably could do with a slightly darker shade. On the Colourpop website they do have little like help me find my shade match, not quiz, you just put in what you're looking for, what you've used before and what shade you've used that on before. So if you're looking for like the Filter Sticks foundation, you can put in another stick foundation that you've used and what shade that would be. They don't really seem to have that many product choices to choose from, so it would help if like if you knew what you're wearing one Colourpop shade, that you could put that in and you'd know what you'd be in the other, whereas it only works with some of the Colourpop products. I know I've looked at some of them to see what I'd be in, like what the Pretty Fresh would be in the No Filter, and there's not really a section for that. It just tends to be in similar foundations. So like I say, with the Filter Sticks one, it will be other stick products, but there's only like 5 or 6 on there, which of all products I've never used before. But once the concealer is blended out, it doesn't look too light for me really. It does have a nice brightening effect under the eyes, so obviously I will keep this concealer and use it for that. If I wanted one to match my foundation and cover blemishes and stuff, I probably would have to go for a slightly darker shade. And now I'm going to go with my No Filter setting powder from Colourpop. This is in the shade Translucent. I got this recently and I've been using it a lot for like underneath my eyes to kind of carve out my eyeshadow, and I absolutely love it. I need to buy this again. I just need to buy it again. It's probably just a very typical setting powder. I don't know, I don't usually use setting powders that much. I tend to go for a pressed powder, but I am in love with this. I like it so much, it's so good. This is it set with the powder. This is the foundation on this side and then the tinted moisturiser on this side. I do like how it looks at the moment. I think it looks really pretty at the moment. It's still just nice and fresh, as well as giving a nice amount of coverage. I will just go and do like my blush and everything and then set it with setting spray, so I'll come back and show you what it looks like then, because I really do think the magic is when it sets with the setting spray. It just looks so good. Okay, so this is it with the powder, my blush, bronzer and the setting spray, and then highlighter on top, and I really think it just helps to melt everything into the skin so nicely with the setting spray, and it just has a really nice finish to it and everything. Obviously it has creased slightly underneath my eyes, but that is something that happens with most foundations anyway. It's just I've got quite wrinkly under eyes, getting on a bit now, but yeah, the rest of it looks pretty nice. There's not too much difference at the moment between the two that I can see. I guess they're both from the same formula really, aren't they? But they'll just be, one's a moisturiser and one's a foundation, so it's slightly more coverage, but otherwise I think they're looking pretty good at the moment. I'm going to go and finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and show you what it looked like, and then I'll probably do a bit of a wear test as well. So this is my foundation and moisturiser now. So this side was the foundation. It's still looking quite nice, even with like everything else on top of it. And this side as well, the like highlighter's gone really nicely on both sides. None of it has really badly like creased or set weird or anything yet. Obviously it's only been maybe an hour, hour and a half. It hasn't been that long yet, but it does look really nice still. Like I say, it's a really nice colour and match for me as well. I just really like it. It looks really nice and just healthy and fresh. I also did my eyes with the Sandstone palette, which I really like at the moment. It's just a nice autumn sort of like fall vibes. And then I'm wearing the Luxe Gloss in Just Cuddle as well. It's got a nice peachy shade. I do find this one's a bit thick sometimes, but it's nice today. Okay, so it is nearly midnight, so the makeup has been on for about 10 hours. But I can see it's definitely starting to rub off around my chin. I have been kind of sat here like this almost in a way, and I did have like dinner and stuff, so obviously probably wet my face a bit there. But you can kind of see, like, I don't know if you can see, but you kind of see it has gone kind of, not say patchy, but it has slightly separated and rubbed off. It never really claims to be a long wearing foundation anyway, so I didn't really expect it to stay on. And it is quite just a lightweight and fresh foundation, so once again, I didn't expect it to stay on for that long either. You can kind of see it's worse on this side, which was the Tinted Moisturiser side. This side it was the foundation, but this side's the Tinted Moisturiser. It does look almost, not orange peely, but separated in a way, like I can kind of just about see it, so I can see that it's on my skin. Whereas this side, it's just gone slightly dry, but it's not really extremely, and obviously it has come off as well. Has kind of separated on my nose slightly and come away from like my face. And this side I can see my pores more compared to this side when I was comparing it just now. Just ever so slightly, so there's not that much difference in it. But I feel like the foundation has held up better, even though both sides have kind of rubbed off. Maybe more the foundation has rubbed off, if anything. But I feel like this has held up better overall. But otherwise, I did like the foundation when I first had it on, and for the first few hours it still looked really nice. When I did the rest of my makeup and everything, it still looked really nice. It's just not a very long-lasting wear foundation, which once again it doesn't claim to be, so I wasn't really testing it for that. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this video has helped you make some choices between, or whether you want to get both of these, because I do think they are both really good products. I like both of them. They both tend to be a really good colour match for me and everything. The moisturiser is something I reach for nearly every single day when I'm doing my makeup. This is just a really nice everyday one. It leaves a really nice finish on your skin. And then when I want something with a little bit more coverage, because they are about the same to me, with a little bit more coverage, I reach for the foundation. But they're both really nice. They don't really oxidize or change colour. There's not really like an orange undertone in them at all or anything, which you tend to get sometimes with pale products. But they're both neutral colours. But yeah, I really like them. If you want to check them out, I'll leave the links in the description to them. They're available on Colourpop, and you can buy from them from the UK as well. You just have to pay like VAT taxes at checkout. If you spend over $60 at the moment, you can get free international shipping. So if you ever want to do like a haul, you can put it all together. Either you share a few products with your friends and stuff, you can just get a big haul, and then you only have to pay for like, the shipping, which works out maybe like $12, $14 depending on what you pick up. But that usually is what you pay for shipping anyway, and then you don't have to pay any extra custom fees when it gets to the UK because it's already been paid. But it's a really good way of doing it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye! I always drop things all the time.